Hello and a very good evening. Welcome to Elite TV. You're watching Open Debate in English. I'm Chongtham Amrita, your host. But first of all, I would like to apologize for the short delay. Inconvenience is regretted deeply. But now we will start again as we resume as usual. And in this episode, we bring you the topic, Missed the CM Bus. We have seen the recent political development in Manipur. The central BJP leadership has decided to quote-unquote abandon the state of Manipur because through their actions, if not through their words, we know that the central BJP leadership has been sidelining and abandoning the state of Manipur and has even spoke volumes about that by imposing the president's rule in the state of Manipur. This is not the first time, though, that the president's rule has been imposed due to a political crisis in the state. And now, the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who has been remaining largely silent over the crisis of Manipur, has been in a meeting that discussed regarding the selection or appointment of the Chief Minister of New Delhi and also other events. But the thing is that that was published in the newspapers today that Manipur's issue was not discussed with that much seriousness. Now, the thing is that as we all know that this is not the first time that the president's rule has been imposed in a state due to a political crisis. Now the question is that timing of the resignation of the chief minister and also the dissolution, not the dissolution, but also calling off the state legislature, the timing of that raises a lot of questions because there is still a lot of word regarding if Article 174 has been violated or not. Now, moving on with other political developments regarding the recent visit of the BJP Northeast in charge, Sri Sambit Patra, who upon meeting with all of the BJP MLAs in the state still have not been able to name a CM face for the state. Now there is also reports in the newspapers today that said that even though they name a new chief minister of the state, they will be announcing it after 2 months. So there's a lot of questions that is being raised because of that particular line, because regarding the state of Manipur is the intention of the state of the central leadership to prolong the president's rule in the state. But then again, though from other sections of the state do want the president's rule because because by thinking that this may solve a lot of the political crisis and also the humanitarian crisis, but from another lens, the president's rule can also prove to be counterproductive as speaking from the political lines as well. Now, without further ado, I would like to just start away with today's episode. First of all, I would like to welcome our panelists for tonight. Our first panelist for tonight is Pabong B. Sonamani, socio-political commentator. Pabong, welcome to Open Debate.
Thank you so much, Amrita, inviting me.
Thank you, Pabong. And joining us is Dhiren A. Sadokpam, Executive Editor for the Frontier Manipur. Oja, also welcome to Open Debate. And also our third speaker will be Jinine Laishramcha, who will be joining us shortly. But first, we will start away with the program right away. Now, first I'll start with Dhiren first of all. Dhiren, recently, my question is that regarding the president's rule, I want to ask you if the president's rule was premeditated or pre-planned, because judging from all of the events that has happened recently regarding the chief ministers, not only the chief minister visit to the to take a dip in the Kumbh Mela, but before that, a lot of the MLAs flying into the New Delhi, one by one meeting with the Home Minister, including the Honorable Speaker, also had an exclusive meeting with the Home Minister. And again, there have been so many reports regarding even looking back a few months ago, the timing of the appointment of the governor and all of that. The real question comes to the fact that if the center has already had planned or maybe pre-planned to impose the president's rule long back, because considering all of the timings and all of the events recently that has taken place, it looks like there has indeed been that all of that has been indeed a prelude to the imposition of the president's rule. So, Ocha, do you think that this has been pre-planned, and do you also think that the president's rule will be here for a longer period of time than we expect?
Amrita, as I think the topic that you have picked up, I think is really good one. Number one, and number two, the question that you have asked. I mean, see, since the imposition of president's rule in Manipur on the 13th of February, yes, on the 13th of February, and events leading up to it, there has been a kind of a significant political debate and speculations actually. So, I mean, to ask a question like what we have just done, I mean, whether the, what do you call, the sequence of, if you actually follow the sequence of events as you mentioned, I mean, like frequent trips made by our politicians to Delhi, particularly from the ruling regime, the summoning of the, speaker, I mean, the assembly speaker by the Ministry of Home Affairs, I mean, Amit Shah had actually met him, then followed by the Speaker's Tribunal hearing, then and Chief Minister's resignation, and the Governor actually cancelling the Assembly session.
Right.
Actually, all these events, the sequence that you have mentioned, actually do raise certain questions about whether the imposition of PR was predetermined, as you have said, actually. So, but to answer this, actually, is you need to actually, as you said, you need to analyze. I mean, in the broader context, in the broader political and constitutional context, actually. So, if one looks at the sequence of events, as you say, like, I mean, see, visit by politicians, state-based politicians like Manipur politicians to New Delhi, be it from the opposition or from the ruling regime. It's kind of a, we all know that particularly politicians from the northeast, not only Manipur, okay, make frequent trips to Delhi. But on key political figures, including Chief Minister, all kinds of politicians, they make frequent trips to New Delhi. And all of us also know that we have the kind of relationship that, the center has with the states, particularly with the northern states. So it's not kind of a, nothing, I don't feel so much strange about the fact. Actually, this is kind of a thing. It's not uncommon. I mean, to say that that people are making visits to Delhi and all that kind of thing, and particularly this could be because of intense negotiation over how the what you call the government should function, and discussion on central leadership's what you call relationship with the state leadership, particularly with reference to BJP leadership in Manipur and the central BJP leadership. I mean, these are not uncommon in Indian politics, actually, to be very honest, not only northeast of Manipur or elsewhere. I think this kind of thing do happen, but I think the frequency is very important, and during times of political frequency tends to increase, during times of political instability, number one, that I have to remember. Then one thing that we should be, from the questions that you have raised, I think one very significant aspect that we should be able to understand is the summoning of the speaker by the Minister of Home Affairs, and the subsequent hearing of the Speaker Tribunal suggests that there were some legal and procedural challenges to the functioning of the state government. That was very clear. I mean, it's written on the wall. There was some kind of a procedural challenges that actually the state government had faced, and these actions could be seen as part of a broader strategy, to destabilize or to bring stability. In either way, to destabilize or to bring stability, depending on how you analyze the situation and how one reads the attitude of the central government, and or even to justify the eventual proclamation of president's rule in Manipur. So then this has to be also closely followed by how we have to look at how the Chief Minister N. Dhiren Singh resigned, and followed by governor's cancellation of the assembly, while at the same time giving him kind of as a caretaker chief minister. That actually is a critical turning point that all of us should note actually. And the resignation of the chief minister, especially under pressure, because I think, once there was another kind of a effort by the Honorable CM of Manipur and Dhiren Singh to resign, but then he had given that time, when the trouble, when the violence began since the 3rd of May in somewhere, in the later phase, he wanted to send a resignation, but that resignation was torn away. So people generally tend to treat it. Those in the opposition have always termed it as a kind of a drama, But it could be also very sincere from the, very sincere effort. A sincere kind of a what you call plea from his own supporter, from his constituencies, and there are so many other BJP supporters. But resignation of the chief minister, especially in this time, on the this time as in on the I think when just before the imposition of president's rule, is actually, as I said, is a turning point, and this could be seen as a move to pave way for president's rule. So, in some sense, we already sense that president's rule is eventually coming. Though there were talks in informal kind of discussions among friends and among political analysts and other things, but they were not, overtly discussed in the public sphere or in the public domain, okay, not easily available. But then there were talks about rumors and all kinds of things that PR is coming. Definitely PR is coming to Manipur, okay. So the public in some sense sensed what is coming, to Manipur, and the governor's decision to cancel the assembly session, which was supposed to convene, I think I remember, it's supposed to convene on February 10th, I think. 10th
Right.
was 10th of February. It was supposed to convene on 10th of February. That cancellation itself also further indicated that the central government was not willing to allow the state government led by N. Dhiren Singh to prove its majority on the floor of the house, okay? Or prove that it has the majority. Because I think there were lots of churning within even the so-called BJP. There were BJP dissident MLAs. All of us, we know that, there were some rebel groups within the so-called even BJP. Forget about the Congress, the rest of other smaller parties, okay? So there were this kind of a thing happening. So, this kind of a preventing from a kind of embarrassment, that what you call the Dhiren Singh led government would face on the floor of the assembly, that was to a certain extent avoided, with the intervention of the center and his resignation as well as the cancellation with the assembly. And eventually, of course, if you actually truly analyze the sequence of events, I think I think one can easily say that I think is to a certain extent imposition of president's rule in Manipur was predetermined in many sense, and it's the center. And I have always argued that whatever is happening in Manipur since the 3rd of May 2023 till date, I think it was more of the central maneuvering,
Yes,
maneuvering by
but
the center.
just to interrupt, Jadhiran, why did the center take so long to impose the PR if that was in their plan the whole time? Because they have already taken so many, almost 22 plus months to impose the PR. If that was the plan, why not do it beforehand?
Amrita, I think I think why the center took so long. See, for Modi still now hasn't spoken
Right.
so much, or hasn't opened up his own views on what is happening, except for commenting when that the infamous episode of women parading naked happened. He has not spoken, or he has not taken kind of thing. And in fact, I have gone on record saying that he has not only reacted, but he's turned his back on Manipur, okay, and the happenings in Manipur. So is the PMO, then even this whole central leadership to certain stand, people to certain stand. I think people have a tendency to see this kind of a silence of the central government as some ambivalence, okay? And I have always said this is not ambivalence. There is some kind of a things cooking behind, okay? One may not know because it could be any other reasons. I always argue it from the geopolitical angle. So I think there's something cooking, some kind of a political maneuvering happening. And all along, if you really follow the sequence of events as you have mentioned, from since the beginning of the crisis in Manipur, or the violent crisis in Manipur, from the 3rd of May till date, okay, there has been no solution in sight, and nothing much had been progress. I mean, in the timeline, there is actually absolutely no progress made, except for the fact that what do you call, the violent clashes have significantly reduced, what do you call, in terms of occurrence, or kind of violence actually killing people and all that. They've had gone down definitely, but the tension still continues, okay. And that is why there's every reason to believe that center was planning something else that you and I may not know, okay. That's why I have always argued that. And I also have argued the fact that, Chief Minister was certainly, he was not functioning as per the constitutional norms that a state leadership should function as a, Chief Minister of a state, okay? Because law and order is supposed to be under his hand, and all of us, we know what happened to the Unified Command, he was no longer commanding the Unified Command in some sense.
Right.
So because of all these kind of issues, I think center was already, and it is not ambivalence of the center. It is not the silence, Sometimes silence, there are so many, you can read silence in multiple ways, okay? So I think to certain extent, I think your assumption or my assumption about predetermined plan to impose PR, and also bring in certain kind of a drastic changes to what is happening in Manipur, in terms of, it could be anything else, it could be granting or trifurcation or bifurcation, whatever you call it, of Manipur, or to the extent of even granting the demands met by those who are not, not very happy with the idea of Manipur that we, generally we concerned citizens are worried about, okay. So I think center had something in plan, and eventually now, because they didn't want to prolong the crisis anymore, let us assume that this crisis goes on for another 1 year or 2 years, I think things might go out of hand. And I also have this inkling, this is just my humble view, okay. It's subject to kind of thing, because these are not facts that is available with evidence, but I also have a feeling that center was thinking that this kind of a crisis would be easily solved, through their intervention, not necessarily through the imposition of governor's rule or president's rule, okay, but through some kind of maneuvering. But that did not happen, and perhaps the events, the sequence of events, what we see it, in a very stark reality, there are so many other behind the scene kind of a maneuvering definitely that must have happened, and it was not coming out it was not to the advantage of the central leadership, and that is one aspect of it. And I think I'll continue my further view in the next
Sure. Thank you so much for your points, Oja. They're really interesting. In fact, that's the question that I wanted to even raise today regarding the center planning something else. If really the plan has taken shape from the point of view of the center. So coming to that question now, I'll move that to Pabung Sonamani. Pabung, the PR imposition in Manipur, this is not the first time. In fact, there have been 10 other instances of PR being imposed in Manipur. The first was in 1967, and in total there have been about 1,511 days of PR of the state being under PR. Now excluding the one that we have right now. Now the thing is that people do assume, or maybe there have been instances where there have been a lot of development activities done during PR, a lot of things, paperwork holding back was not seen during PR, all of that thing. But regarding coming back to the point about the PR is, does the imposition of the PR truly benefit the people of the Manipur, or does it benefit the BJP's bigger political agenda? Is this a ploy for the political party to just advance their political agenda, because they still don't have a CM face right now? They are still not in consensus to nominate anybody who is from the party who is enjoying the number of the majority, and they still cannot come to terms to agree on the face of a CM. And then again, even if they do They may be announced 2 months later. So we know that from that fact that there is still a lot of debate going on regarding the selection or appointment of the Chief Minister of the Manipur, of the state of Manipur. Now, again, Pabung, regarding PR, do you think really it would benefit the people, or is it another ploy for the BJP's political party to just to advance their agenda, if any? Pabung.
Amrita, it's a good evening to you, and my respect to the Mr. Dhiren, and my another colleague from the South Korea, Laishramcha, the Jinine Laishramcha, I believe, what you communicated to me.
He will not be joining us today, but yeah, he will be joining us next time, maybe another time.
Okay, sure. Okay. Worldwide, the listeners, I bow my head to all of you. See, this is an encroachment of our state politics because we are too weak. You have rightly stated appointed or appointment. The Chief Minister is being elected, not by selected, then later on, then it is being elected. See, central government has got a certain parameter, and in contrast, the state government, although it's a small under the umbrella of Indian government, Indian Union government, but it has her own way of function. State Chief Minister is to be elected or to be selected by her own members in a small state like Nagaland, like Manipur, like Mizoram, where there's 60 MLAs, like the 40 MLAs. It is only by themselves. But we see that we have surrendered our rights to the central headquarters. So naturally, central body, they will do whatever they want, and whom they want, they will plant it, and they will make to see that he becomes or she becomes a Chief Minister. So state government has no right, because we have totally surrendered. This is what today is happening. Our state government was running like a puppet government, and today fragmented group, the way they dance, that tune of the governor, the political satrap who are occupying seats in Delhi. And according to their wish, all the MLAs and the minister, they were dancing to destabilize the Manipur. I'm extremely grateful and I'm happy to the governor of Manipur and also to the government of India for impositions of the president rule. I'm extremely happy. Because who has created all this sin? This is only by our people. We cannot say Manipuris that there is a proverb which I frame myself that I say that united fall and divided stand. Another community that united stand and divided fall. According to me, in our own philosophy in the Manipuri, that our crab culture. We don't want to see that someone he tries to climb up. Let me pull his legs so that he doesn't cross the door or the frame or the wall. So we call it that the united fall and divided stand. This is the same thing is those dissidents group, they have created this drama. Then later on, then they have to face the music. Why? How they can face how they can display and how they can show their face to the people. You see that the state government and the central government both have got her own way of function. There is some silver lining is already there. State government, when the function is government of India cannot and should not try to interfere and should not lay their hand. When the state government function just like a functionary and how they can perform their own within the ambit, within the periphery of the states, the rights given that. But we have totally surrendered. Every time that like a school teacher, the school teacher called the students, you come to my home, you come to my home, you bow down to my feet, then you stand up, picking up a stick, then he will try to command his control it. The same thing happened to the Manipur. This is, yes, on the other hand, central government was contemplating that how to impose the president rule. Yes, very, very clandestinely, very, very cunningly, that the security advisor, when having the DGP, who is the head of the law and order, then 355 article, covertly, they have already imposed it. And although the government of India has not published it, or the state government has not published it, but what we learned from the horse's mouth, 355 article, that's why the DGP, while having the DGP head of the law and order, that having been present physically, then another security advisor, senior retired DGP was being brought.
Okay,
Even the chief secretary who was supposed to be selected.
Just to interrupt to you, Pabong, regarding the chairman, regarding of who will be the chairman of the Unified Command. We know that Shri Kuldip Singh will continue as an advisor, as a security advisor to the government of Manipur. But now that PR is imposed in the state, do you think that Shri Kuldip Singh will continue as the chairman of the Unified Command, or do you think that the governor should be the chairman of the Unified Command? Please clarify on that as well, Pabong.
Amrita, when the state popular government, people's elected the government run, chief minister is the unified command.
Okay.
When the PR comes, obviously that the governor. But if the governor, His Excellency, wishes that he may just shoulder the responsibility to the security advisor, it is the will of the governor. PR means there are only three senior people will be there. One the chief secretary, one advisor, and the governor, nobody else. Only these three members will be there. Chief Secretary, and in between that, the Government of India will appoint one advisor, maybe for 5 months or 6 months or 2 months, then the governor, 3 of them will run. So now obviously the governor has seized the power, as he has been empowered by the constitution, as we have surrendered, as we have requested the Government of India, you come and rule. We don't want to see Mr. Dhiren, we want, rather than the serving under Mr. Dhiren, what they think we do not know, then we want that you come and interfere and you look after. This is our creation. So it is very clear. But when Mr. Dhiren Singh was there, that was willfully, the security advisor was being brought. Because 355, that article was clandestinely, under the covertly they have imposed it. Then 352, 356, they have imposed it. Now it is under the governor's rule. So governor is the final authority. So as I said, there will be only 3 persons to mainly function it on behalf of the Manipur government. They will run it. There is the chief secretary, an advisor, and the governor. 3. These are the 3 musketeers. These are the 3. What I will call it. That they are the Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwar, like that these gentlemen, they will run it. So it is a very clear it. Now security advisor role, that he was being brought right from the beginning then chief secretary was selected from Delhi. When the chief minister was available in the state, he was supposed to select according to his choice out of the senior IAS officer in the state, 1, 2, 3, out of that he has to select. But he was not given that opportunity. Rather, the government of India, manipulative government of India, sent another one, Mr. Prasan, that he is a chief secretary. So indication was given right from the beginning that the Manipur government had already surrendered. Manipur government had no power. What the government of India said, they have to vote on. But this is totally wrong. The state government, that willfully they had surrendered to the government of India and their high command. So that's why they got the ample opportunity. And this kind of things happen when the state governments, our political astute, what they claim is political astute, when they are weak, when they don't maintain principle. Why the BJP government high command serving the chief minister and the other ministers should summon off and on? Why? Should not have been. Of course, it happens when the same party of the high command in Delhi and the state government, they prevail it, they run it in the both. One is in the center, one in the state. Sometimes this kind of interference happens. Interference happens means when the state government cannot run, cannot function in his own capacity or in her own capacity, then central government interferes. Rather than we surrendered it. Same thing happening it. But in the regional party, the central government cannot interfere in this way. And government of India, they judge who is the chief minister. Is he very soft? Is he very kind-hearted? Is he having a too much leniency? Or is he a very tough one? And who will not listen to the government of India when they directs so many unwanted things, they will try to impose it. Then state government will deny it. And had there been any kind of a leader, like in the past, in the Manipur, who was running the government, then they could have denied it because they had got the courage to confront and to say that. But it seemed, and it has displayed already, Manipur government totally surrendered, either in the past one and the present one, who have been lobbying it, and that they have already invited that President Rule to invite. Now we are happy. Now that this brunt, the people's brunt, have to bear all these dissident groups who destroyed the Manipur, the popular government. They should bear the brunt of the people, because they cannot just run away. So we are extremely happy that the PR has been imposed, so that nobody speaks, nobody interfere in anything. Yes, there will be the armed forces, they will be having their high-handedness, their behavior. This is what I appealed yesterday through another channel to His Excellency. Kindly see to it that armed forces, the way that the ample opportunity, ample power have been shouldered on them, the innocent people are not being tortured, they have not been pulled out from the house by covering that they have done this, they have not done this, all these things. So this may please be avoided. Otherwise, President Rule, things are going on. They have not seized the fundamental rights of us, but who have created? This is who that our MLAs, this is who that our legislature, who became very selfish, who think themselves that they are too big and that they can run the government and they can play whatever they want. This is absolutely the wrong notion. What these MLAs, so-called MLAs, who are aspiring to become the chief minister, in one state, there has to be one chief minister. So 32 MLAs or the 60 MLAs, everybody wanted to become a chief minister. Then naturally and obviously the central government, then they have to interfere it, because our state is fighting ourselves, among ourselves, and we have invited the PR. We don't have to blame. Now we the people, that we the local praja from the Manipur, we should realize it, that who have invited PR, these MLAs, the BJP's MLAs, they're infighting, they're indecisive decisions, they were hankering, they were the power monger, and they do not know where they stand it. They might be having the 5 or 10 MLAs, I'm very doubtful, and out of that the 4 wanted to become the chief minister. So everybody wanted to become the chief minister. The government of India was watching for. Now, Dhiren Singh, he is the most clever and he is the most fit for the leadership. Now, he had been watching it. Come on, you go and fight yourself. You didn't trust me. So now I have surrendered it. Let me look after as a caretaker chief minister. Kam chalao sarkar. No problem. But what happened to the other side of the coin? Those who are aspiring to become, those who are oftenly flying rather than the stay in the Manipur, they were the Charan Cho. Ji Hujur, hum aage hain. Exactly. Aapke saran mein hame de do. This is how the things, we have ruined our MLAs who tried and who destabilized the Manipur local popular government. They have destabilized it. So we must face the music. So we are suffering it. Let them suffering it. We are suffering it. It's okay. Let the PR be peacefully. They try to impose it, and so that they don't harm the innocent people. Otherwise, there's no any drawback. There's no any serious problem with us. That's what I want to submit before you.
Okay, good point indeed, Pablo. But still, there seems to be a lot of question regarding the political party of the BJP, regarding the failure of, regarding their failure to choose a chief minister's face, and also always awaiting the orders of the top brass at the central high command. But yeah, that remains to be seen. Now, moving on with this debate, I'll come to Oja Dhiren once again. Regarding the violation of Article 174, I just want to remind that the resignation was submitted and accepted on the 9th of February, and the governor had called the assembly session that he called null and void, announced that null and void, and then that was supposed to be convened on the 10th of February. Now, if we remember, the last assembly sitting that ended was on the 12th of August 2024. Now, if we count up the dates and the imposition of the PR, there's a lapse of 1 day, that is the 12th of February, because we still did not have any Chief Minister face or any announcement on that particular day. And also the day regarding the 6-month rule had also been extended by 1 day, or maybe lapsed by 1 day on the 12th of February. But there's still contention regarding if that is true or not. But according to, if we are being very technical, then I think it is. So even if a new Chief Minister face is announced, I think that particular validation will still be there, will still be present, and because of that, automatically a PR will still need to be imposed. So it looks like the next CM still have, or will in fact have, missed the bus once again. So do you think that regarding the lapse of 1 day will be an issue for the next Chief Minister, just keeping aside the PR for a while for now? Dhiren, what are your thoughts?
Amrita, I think it's a very good question that you are asking. I mean, which I think, if I put it in a nutshell, is particularly you are referring to constitutional crisis. If at all there is a constitutional crisis,
yes.
I think I think Congress has already raised this issue at a national level. I remember, I think it was Jairam Ramesh or somebody else, but Congress has already raised the issue that the what do you call, the governor's order and cancellation of the or declaring the assembly null and void, and and also subsequent imposition of president's rule, they all violate Article 174 Clause 1 of the Indian Constitution.
Right.
I think 174 of the Indian Constitution has been violated. That is the fundamental issue raised by the Congress. But what do they mean by Article 174 Clause 1 of the Indian Constitution say? Actually, this Article 174 Clause 1 of the Indian Constitution actually mandates that the state legislature must meet at least once every 6 months. Okay, it actually mandates. So as you said, whether it's 1 day ahead or 1 day less, I mean, there is a kind of a matter to be legally sorted out. But if if they have kind of a bypass this particular Article 174, and that means if they have actually violated it, it can lead to serious constitutional crisis. Because that also suppose that the government cannot function without the. The fact is, within the 6 months phase, as you said, 6 months thing had been violated. Okay, that thing. The assembly should meet every 6 months, but the government cannot function without all of us, we know that any government cannot function without actually the legislature, actually, be it parliament or any form of legislature, cannot, without meeting them, no government can function. But in the case of Manipur, if the assembly did not meet the 6 months, please take this very seriously. If the assembly did not meet for 6 months, it would indeed be violation of Article 174 Clause 1. Okay, the first one, that will be. This is true. If it is a violation of Article 174A, and this violation actually, if it truly violated this article, that means this would create significant legal and constitutional challenges for any government. Okay, forget about thinking about the next CM or not. That becomes quite immaterial in a sense, because if one has already violated Article 174, 174A, it means, and also in subsequent imposition of PR, okay, president rule, then it's a serious, actually, constitutional crisis. So, and also please remember, we cannot simply wash away these allegations or this issue raised by the Congress, for a simple reason that this article is very pronounced and it is very clear. Article 174, I repeat, Clause 1, it can be washed away or it can be rolled back. It remains a constitutional flaw. If the assembly has not functioned for the last 6 months, it remains a constitutional flaw. That is no doubt about it. Okay, and this would be used by actually opposition. As I said, opposition has already used it, particularly Congress at the national level. They've already raised it that there are, and also some legal experts have also commented on this, and there were a couple of, I think, editorials written by the national newspaper, particularly I think I read one by the Hindu earlier. Okay, so legal experts and all other, I mean, to challenge the legitimacy of the government, even if a new government is formed under any Tom, Dick, and Harry, be it any chief minister. Okay, I mean, so there is one aspect of it. Then another aspect which I wanted to, having said this about the constitutional crisis, if at all it is there or not, and there is a feeling that article, as I said, Article 174 Clause 1 has been already violated. Okay, that is I think the contention. I think probably you were also trying to raise when you asked the question. I think that is also one thing. But what is the political implication? Because leave this aspect about article violation of Article 174 Clause 1. Leave this to the constitutional expert for a while. Now, what does it means politically? What are the political implications of this kind of issues that is being raised? See, I think BJP High Command, even if they manage to choose a new leader to be the chief minister, okay, forget Dhiren Singh for a while. Even if they manage to choose a new leader, constitutional crisis created by the violation of this article, as I mentioned, 174 Clause 1, would loom over the new government. Say, let's assume ex-chief minister comes to take over the seat because, Dhiren Singh is no longer a chief minister after the imposition of PR, though he was a caretaker chief minister. Let's assume for a while that a new leader has assumed power, but still, this violation of this Article 174 is going to loom over the new government, whoever XYZ. Okay, so there will be definitely, if looms over the new government, then definitely there will be political instability again, and also coupled with legal challenges and other things. So you have already rightly used the kind of a thing. I think this kind of violation, if at all happens, then there's going to be big constitutional legal challenges as well as political instability looming large over the kind of over the state of Manipur. Okay, so as I said, under this kind of circumstances, and it makes it very vulnerable. Okay, particularly would be very vulnerable to all the politicians and legal experts, and because it's indeed a challenge to actually prove or maybe find it out, trash it out on the floor of the court. Okay.
Dhiren, I have to, I'm sorry, but I have to request you to wrap it up just under 1 minute, and I have to, before I move to Babung, because we have to wrap up in 5 minutes. Yeah, Dhiren.
Okay. And the last thing that I want to, one thing that I wanted to make it, actually, I wanted to say it right in the beginning. We should remember, as far as now we are talking about the violation of that one particular article and political instability looming large. There is a thing, and it's a serious matter. But one thing which I wanted to focus is, I have written on this also in our website about kind of what is the broader political context under which this kind of a political game has been played out. Okay, we should remember the practice in India. Okay, the convention in India, particularly within the party politics. Okay, party politics in parliamentary party politics. When I say parliamentary, means even the state legislature. Okay, has been that political parties. Okay, be it any party cutting across party lines, okay, they have rarely given any chance to the, I think Tamo Sonamani has said the so-called the rebel dissident group. Okay?
Right.
If you check it, every state, any dissident, be it the Congress or BJP in India, is not the practice to elect them as the chief minister of the state. Okay. So either they will be left to fend for themselves, or left to they'll be just, as a rebel, they'll remain forever rebel, or either they leave the party. If they not leave the party, then they will be of insignificant to the party anymore. So what I'm trying to say, Indian political scenario is very rare for a dissident or for a dissenting kind of a what you call to actually be elevated to the rank of a political leadership to become the CM and all. So I think I have this feeling that none of the so-called rebel, as Tamos Sonamani had referred to, none of the troublemakers within the BJP, okay, be it from the Kuki Jo community or even from the Meitei community who are in the BJP, I'm talking about not Congress, but within the BJP, okay, I have this, I'm not too optimistic about any of them becoming or being elected as elevated to the position of a chief minister and all that kind of thing. They have to think all over again. Okay, so
Yes, indeed. Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. I'll have to cut you short now, Dhiren. I'll just give 2 minutes to Pabung before we wrap up this program. Now, Pabung, the question that I wanted to ask you is that we know that the Kuki MLAs and the Kuki community who are waging this ethnic violence have been vehemently against Sri N. Dhiren Singh being the chief minister. Their major demand was for Sri N. Dhiren Singh to resign. Now that he has resigned, now that PR is now in place in Manipur, but these are the things that they have demanded. But contrary to their beliefs, I think the central security forces have started taking action against those who are instigating this violence. And even I think just yesterday, security forces have again started to destroying bunkers, have also started to recover weapons, and also 7 KNA cadres have also been apprehended and arrested. And these members are those who are under the SU, are signatories of the SU. So, do you think that law and order is finally being felt to the Kuki community, or being dealt to the Kuki community as it should? But now it's finally taking shape under the president's rule. Pabung, I have to request you to please keep it under just 3 minutes, and then we will have to wrap up.
Okay. No, these are all IUS. What the government of India, what she is implementing is called after the death, doctor is invited.
Okay.
Whatever the damage and whatever the genocide, how they genocide and cleansing one community, what they wanted, they have done it. Government of India closed eyes, and having 18 lakhs or 20 lakhs armed forces, army, then the millions of the security forces in India. Government of India deliberately, they have not applied their mindset. They had been watching it, and the simply law and order was, they have strictly implemented only the valley. It is very crystal clear that who dropped the bomb by the drone, who are possessing it, maximum the very high quality of the arms and ammunitions, like rocket propeller, like M15, M16, M20, and they had been using it, they improvised so many arms and ammunitions, and they had been peddling drugs and everything. Government of India, she closed her eyes. And this is only now doing it, it is only IUS.
Okay.
I have no trust on the government of India, I tell you very clearly, crystal clearly, because whatever the damage, whatever the Chin Kuki Jo terrorists wanted to do, they have already achieved it. Now you raised that one's questions that if Mr. Dhiren remained in the chair, in the helm of the chair as a chief minister, they will not negotiate. Okay. Now Mr. Dhiren has already gone. They said that no. Let the Dhiren go, or somebody comes, or let our Chin Kuki Jo become the chief minister. Even that our demand, that our continuous demand, persistent pressure will be mounting. Either the separate administrations or union territory. We are not ready to compromise except these two.
Okay, Pabung, yeah, just 1 minute. Just 1 minute, Pabung. Okay, just 1 minute.
They are blatant liar people. So government of India know fully, government of India tamasa kuch to kar rahe hain, and the tamasa we have to see it. As I said, 240, 250, the Manipur's people, they have already killed, including the child. You see the merciless people. Whatever they wanted, they are doing it under the mercy and under the umbrella of the government of India. This is what we feel, this is what I feel it, and these are all after that doctor invited, they have to arrest, they have to catch some arms, ammunition, out of thousands. Now today Assam and the Meghalaya, it has become the root of the drugs and the arms, ammunitions. They have procured it from other countries, other states. They had been passing through these, and the Guwahati in Assam and in Meghalaya, every day, all these arms, ammunitions, then the explosives, everything they have been catching it. What the government of India's response is? We people, they wanted to see
we'll
that
have to
we
wrap
have
up.
been put behind the bar.
Yes, we have to wrap up because we have another program just in just the next minute. So we will have to wrap up today, unfortunately. So Pabung, I will give you more time in the next program when we invite you again. But for today, we will have to wrap up right now, and we do hope to hear you
It's all right. It's all right.
From Dhiren and also from Pabung once again. And we do have still a lot more to discuss with a lot more new topics. And also, thank you for being with us and sharing us your thoughts again. Thank you all once again. And I would also
Thank you.
like to wrap up and also thank our viewers for tuning in tonight. We will be back again next Monday with more exciting topics. Until then, have a good night.